So we're back in the art room today for another charcoal sketch. And today I'm going to do another landscape drawing. I've been doing a lot of landscape drawings lately. So I did a seascape the last time I was in here. And I've done a cityscape, and I'm going to do another winter snow kind of scene today. And as usual, I have a mask to protect my lungs. So if you guys are following along or trying to learn to draw like this, and you're using charcoal powder to tone your paper, definitely protect your lungs. So yeah, I'm just spreading along this charcoal powder. Today I'm using Strathmore 400. It's got a little more teeth to it than Bristol, which is the paper that I used last time. And I can tell just by how it sounds. And I think it's about where I need it to be. All right, so I'm going to start with my lighter areas, just blocking in. And I've been doing a lot of scenes with water because I really like how it looks when you have images that kind of reflect or mirror. And it's been pretty fun doing them, so I'm going to do something similar till I get really good at it. And so this will be the water's edge down here. And again, this is just the rough sketch part. The plan is to have a bunch of snow here, some trees in the background, the sky up here, and then we'll reflect everything down here. The sky, I don't want to lighten up too much, just a little bit. So I started down here because now my eraser is just full of charcoal powder. That way it doesn't lift too much charcoal up here. So I just want this slightly lighter than it was. I don't know if you guys can hear those little pops and crackles. That must be from charcoal that's kind of trapped behind my paper here. And I think that's about it for that. And before I lose my line here, I think I should just draw it out, just as a guide to the edge of my lake, where everything's just going to mirror off of here. Again, it doesn't have to be straight. I'm not a fan of straight lines. And I know everyone says that, as an artist, you always get told, I can't even draw a straight line. Well, I'll tell you that I can't either as an artist. Straight lines and circles. Whoever said that's an artist thing, it's not true. Okay, so I'm going to mirror down here, but I want to add a little bit more to this part right here. So I just kind of kneaded my eraser so it's nice and tacky again. So this area needs to be a lot lighter. This is where all the snow is going to be. And maybe that can be a little further back. There's those pops again. All right, so I'm going to mirror this here, down here as best as I can. And this water is pretty still, so we're not going to put like ripples or anything like that. It's just going to be like completely still. There's no wind or no breeze. And I'm going to go lighter, but just the way I normally layer, I'm going to start off kind of light back here, and then I'll add another layer, a lighter layer on top of this. This will just kind of help me roughly sketch out this top part here. So it looks like this, but mirrored. Actually, I have a tattoo on my arm that I did on myself using a mirror. I can be pretty impulsive, and I wanted to draw or tattoo a portrait of my daughter on my arm. And it was just one of those spontaneous, random, just one day, I just felt like doing it. So I was looking at a mirror in front of me in the bathroom, basically drawing off of the reflection. I don't know why I attempted it, but it actually came out okay. So that's kind of mirrored, but it needs to be lighter in some areas. I feel like this is a different kneaded eraser too, a new one that I'm trying out, and it's not bad. I have noticed it's just different brands, like the quality sometimes. This one's like really tacky. All right, so I think that's good enough for now. And just like little circles, so there's no like lines or streaks. I guess I should have done this bottom part too, since it's going to be reflecting. It's going to be a lot of dark areas, so I'm going to put on some gloves for this, so my hands don't get too dirty, my fingers. And these trees are going to be in the background. Well, this dark area here is going to be a bunch of trees in the background. I'm still wearing my mask just because I see some floaties still floating around here. I'm not sure if you guys can hear that. There's looks like landscapers outside. And that's the thing about drawing in the mornings. It's just so loud, you know, because everybody's, it's work hours. Today's trash day too, so you might be hearing them swing by later in a bit. I'm just blocking in this area It's all going to be trees. And you know, we'll add the more details on the final layers, but we're still building this up. See all that charcoal's coming down there? Maybe I should have started with the dark areas first, and then that lighter area. But it's no big deal. I can always go back and erase it. I'm doing this bottom part a little darker here, kind of splitting this up because this top part's going to be like the canopy, like the treetops. And maybe I'll add a mix of some trees or just branches, and then some trees can have like leaves and stuff. But all right, so I gotta mirror this down here. And so right now I'm just, you know, knocking out the big shapes. I gotta be careful not to like put any lines, because then it's kind of hard to erase or soften afterwards. But I think that's good enough for now. And now the fun part. It's just smudging all this. Let's start with this bottom part here, the base of the trees. And I think for this area, I will like occasionally go up. Let's do like little circles and then go up, because these trees are obviously going up. Yeah, so little circles and then just kind of go up. Before I started doing these videos where I'm kind of guiding everybody through my process, I normally would have some music in the background, classical music or like jazz or lo-fi type stuff. But I really appreciate all the support that I've gotten from you guys. It's just been awesome, because like for me, drawing is very like calming, just this relaxing thing, activity. And to be able to like invite you guys into my art room and share that experience has been, it's been awesome. Because I know that not everybody that follows me on here or watches my videos intend to draw these, or artists, you know. I think some people just like watching other people create, and it's also kind of relaxing. Now you guys see where I wore gloves. I knew it was going to be a lot of dark areas, and I haven't really looked into it if there's any like long-term like health effects, hazardous effects of rubbing charcoal with your bare fingers. So I guess I never really thought about the potential hazard of it, so I'm wearing gloves just in case too. So this is darker in some areas than I wanted, so I'm gonna have to go back and lighten them up. Just gonna blend this in a little bit just to soften it, these edges here. Do the same down here. Not too much though, because I still need this to be white down here. So this eraser, it's hard for me to do like little circles with them. It's really tacky. And this is a kneaded eraser, but it's a different brand that I'm using. It's really tacky, but it's also kind of dry, so it crumbles. But for this area, it's almost solid white, so I can just go from left to right. Normally I don't like to though. It's so sticky. And I gotta lighten this area too. Since some of that charcoal fell down here, I had to smear it. So before I move on to the next step, I need to lighten my treetops here. I need them to look a little lighter, kind of bushy looking. Don't want to over soften this, you know, I need it to look a little textured. Maybe if I just dab it. Just lighten it up. So I bought this stool like a while back. It's like a doctor's or dentist kind of stool. And it has been awesome. I'll have to do maybe like a supplies list of things that I use and recommend. And I had like this old school kind of stool before for drawing. And it was just hurting my back, like just sitting and staying upright, unsupported. Yeah, and this stool definitely helps. Maybe I'll add it in like the comments or something. So yeah, just still lightening this up. Trying to add a little texture. You know, like different shades of dark and light, like grays. All right, so for this next layer, I do want to add some trees in the background. But since this is kind of like an impressionistic drawing, you know, where it's just not very detailed. It's more about suggestion. And this charcoal, oh, there you go. Maybe I wasn't pressing hard enough. I'm gonna add like hints of trees back here. Like these squiggly lines here. These are supposed to be my trees. Way in the background. Actually, I should probably mirror as I go. I'm gonna try my best here. I know I'm not gonna get it like exact. You guys get it. Just had to darken that area just a little bit. I'm gonna do the same back here. Maybe I'll put some, not that they're taller, but we'll put these trees like they're about closer to the front, maybe closer to the foreground. And just putting like these random like squiggly branches. Trying to stick to somewhat easy drawings. I say easy, I probably make them look easy, but like beginner friendly drawings. For those that want to try this, should be fairly easy to follow along. I will say, because charcoal is really messy. Definitely prepare space to draw. Like my art room, it's just made for drawing and painting. I ripped out all the carpet. It's just concrete floors. I do want to add like a thicker tree. Here. It's a little darker because it's supposed to be in front of that tree here. Maybe that was too squiggly. All right. This paper just has so much like grip, you know, I'm like fighting against it. This is where I mentioned before that Bristol is like really good for details because it's just easier for the pencil to kind of glide along. This is a good example why. This is somewhere here, I would say. And looks a little weird, so I'm gonna add another branch over here. Just like that. I do have to get like a supply list going for everything that I use. Well, this is more like a pastel pencil than charcoal. Yeah, pastel pencil. It's just easier to get like these dark lines. So do the same down here. This trunk needs to be thicker. And I gotta add like these little branches, which I should probably use my other pencil for that because this is just too dark. So I'll go back to that there. And I'm gonna go back to my General's charcoal pencil and just to do these little branches. Now if I press hard enough, I can probably get these lines pretty dark, but I don't want to like break the pencil. It's like really delicate. And I'm definitely testing the pressure here because I'm applying a little more pressure down here where it's dark. Gonna make these a little bushy, you know, like maybe there's leaves here. And I'll probably smudge these just a tad bit. Again, it's not about details, it's just more of a suggestive kind of thing, you know. These are just supposed to represent like even smaller branches and maybe leaves. So I'm going to use this eraser here and just do like little circular motion. I should try my kneaded eraser, see if it can lift that much. I don't know. If it can, it'll make it easier. Oh, it could. Somewhat. That's probably good enough. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do like little sections at a time, because I also have to mirror this. probably about right here. It's gonna go this way. This is definitely the challenging part here, is mirroring everything, but I like a challenge. Just makes it more engaging for me. These little unknowns, like I don't know if it's gonna look good or, but because it's charcoal, I mean, it's just really easy to like smear it or erase and adjust it. And maybe add some more here. So this is like snow on top of branches, and maybe like on some leaves. All right. And I feel like I need more on this side for sure. We'll have to put the trees somewhere here. So I'll make this wider. So weird drawing this, like mirroring it upside down. It's like my brain is just trying to figure it out. I do need to kind of fill in some of these areas in between, but I want these a little bit lighter, like they're shadowy areas or in the background, because I got to mix it up. This will definitely make it easier for me to like hide the imperfections on these reflections. So I really like the contrast between the trees and that dark background. So I'm going to add some more trees over here. I felt like it just looked like too lonely back there. And I feel like I'm making it harder on myself because it's just more that I have to reflect down here, but I think it's going to look cool when it's all done. And again, if I just work on this little by little, as far as reflecting these treetops, it just makes it easier. Break it down into shapes. Remember, it doesn't have to be like exact. You know, if you see me going this way and you're trying to do the same, you don't have to go exactly that way. Just kind of play around. And, you know, just have fun with it. Especially if you're just like learning. I went a little too far on that other one down there. Maybe I'll just extend this guy right here. And I think I'm gonna draw a few more trees down here. Some little baby trees. Some small ones over here. These trees down here can be like more in the foreground. Not so much, you know, along the back, along this line, but I'll have some kind of more forward and maybe this tree further back. So I'm just gonna touch up some of these areas, and I'll start drawing some branches. These trees back here, I feel like they're still a little too dark, so I'm gonna lighten them up just a little bit more. Just back here. All right, so let's work on some of these branches up here. I gotta sharpen this pencil though. But before I do that, see these edges look way too sharp here. I gotta smoothen all this out. And I think I'm gonna start this tree maybe here. And I didn't really sharpen this pencil too much because I need like some big, kind of bold tree lines here, tree trunks. And have this kind of branch out. So I'm starting off with like a lot of pressure to get these thick bold lines here. And then as I'm going up, I just kind of start lifting off my pencil a little bit so that it's like lighter and thinner. Because now I just made it harder on myself. So now I'm going to add another tree. I'll say there's two trees here, kind of next to each other. This one will go out this way a little bit. Maybe branch off somewhere here. And do the same down here before I add too much. Maybe another little tree here. This guy's a little skinnier. And I'll grab my charcoal pencil for all the little branches. And down here. And we do need some shadows in these trees. So I'm gonna smear kind of this way. We'll see our light sources coming from this direction, kind of moving down this way. Too dark. So we added these trees. We can't have these guys just floating around. So I wanted these more like right here, kind of by the water's edge. Maybe, yeah, say about right here. Oh, that came out crooked. I'll have to fix that. Sometimes that happens. I was telling you guys, you can't draw straight lines. Maybe another one here. Let's say, yeah, maybe right here. Doesn't help that I drink coffee in the morning before I draw, so my hands are like super shaky. There are trees here too. do this one a little sideways. Just gonna add a little more snow. I felt like I needed something, and this will kind of make it overlap some of these branches here. So, especially these guys right here. This is a smaller tree, so it's gonna have like little branches and snow on top of these little branches too. So I gotta be a little finer details on these guys. Maybe I can add some trees back here too, because it looks kind of plain over here. Again, we're just like hinting at it. I'm saying they're trees, so they're trees back here. Kind of let your imagination fill in the gaps. My last step is just taking off this border that I have here that I taped up. So I was going to call this done, but these branches that I did just looked, they were faded too much into this background. So I'm going to add a little bit of snow on here to kind of make them stand out a little bit. Maybe like stuck to the tree. And I think I am calling this done. I really appreciate you guys watching these videos, and let me know in the comments if you guys have any questions.